Hi, everyone, and welcome to the very late March plan with me. Hopefully, you can see me. I have a new setup today, so I have no idea what's going on, which is kind of true of like everything in my life, but let me try to. I think I fixed it. Let's see. We're almost. Nope, nope. Those are not slides. Those are slides. There we go. All right. Thank you for being so patient. I have been like super sick with the flu for just a week, a little over a week. I don't know. Feels longer, but it was not that bad this time around. Last time I was sick with the flu, it was like for a month or something crazy like that. Anyways, March is here. And in fact, I put on some March nails yesterday, which I realized that like themed nails with like little decorations aren't really my thing. I like just like plain kind of boring nails. But yeah, but these have little shamrocks on them. They had other nails too with like little glitter on them, but I'm not really that big of a fan of the glitter like I thought it would be. Anyways, so spring is almost here. I know that all across the country it's getting warm and toasty, so I think that's great for people who like warm and toasty weather. Let me see. Am I doing this right? Oh, there we go. Sorry. It looks like some of you showed up early. Where did February go? Yes. Where did February go? And it was a leap year. That's so true. Like, I don't even know where the extra day went. So this is spring break, which I made a funny joke the other day in my email about how children are all going to Europe for spring break. I remember my spring break growing up, you just like got to sit at home and do nothing. I don't even know what my parents did. I don't know if they had to like take the whole week off of work, or maybe I think I was able to stay at home by myself. I feel like I wasn't able to be trusted by myself, so I don't know if that's really true. But it's so like it was just 1 week, and it was usually during Easter. So I feel like my parents took the week off. I could be wrong. Anyways, most people are going to Europe. I guess that's a new thing, or to Asia, or some crazy, exotic, super uber expensive vacation. So that's why it's funny to me where they're talking on the news how about how the middle class is like compressing and there aren't as many. I don't think that's true. I think the middle class is spending even more if they can afford to take, a 10-year-old to Europe, because that's apparently very important for 10-year-olds. Anyways, Easter this year is early. It is, I guess it's early. It's like right at the end of the month. And today is Casimir Pulaski Day, which, if you did not know, is probably because you were not from Illinois. So it's like a big Illinois holiday. When I got to college, and that was just over one state over in Indiana, I was really confused on why nobody else got Casimir Pulaski Day off. I was like, what happened? Anyways, it's usually the first Monday. It always is the first Monday of every March. And I don't know that we do anything special. You just get the day off in Illinois, and you just know that it's a Polish holiday, and that's kind of it. So, anyways, if you didn't know, he is a cavalry officer from the American Revolution who apparently just knew a lot about war stuff to help them win against the British. Anyways, the workbook is not done. I'm guilty. I didn't even do the cover. I like just woke up this morning and made these slides. So same schedule as usual. We'll do a plan with me. We will do our wins, our fails, doable dozen, wish list, all of those good things for the month of March. So here was my recap of the month, which honestly, I'm kind of surprised I got anything done, but I did. My productivity obviously went down because I just worked overall less hours than I normally do because I was sick for a lot of it. So that was the month. What else? Oh, so I did start another video podcast because clearly I cannot stop starting podcasts. It's just so easy. It feels silly even saying like I started a podcast because it's just a YouTube playlist, and I just selected podcast, and that was it. In fact, I did a tutorial this morning that I posted on how to start a podcast because it is just that easy. And so I just like doing tech tips, which I think I used to share with you guys as secret videos. I don't think anyone was really interested in those, so I just kind of retailored my tech tutorial giving skills towards authors. So we'll see how that goes. I did a lot of live streams for the month. I did end up having to cancel last week's. I was okay. I was able to pull it together. I had like that weird thing where I was like super sick. I almost canceled on Diane, and then I felt okay that morning. So I'm glad we got that done. But yeah, so I had a lot of live streams for the month, mostly with the Cozy Mystery Mingle. I will report on how that is going. And then also I did just post one video. That's pretty much it. The live streams honestly like took over my life. In fact, even that video, I don't know if you can tell the quality, I did it on my phone. So anyways, that was then. And this was kind of interesting. So I have been bragging how I don't post to the Lisa London channel. So I have 3 YouTube channels. I have the one you're watching right now, Pretty Fabulous. I have the Lisa Latte Cozy Mystery one, and then I also have the Lisa London, which is the romance one. And so that one was actually demonetized. I got a note about it too, and I was like, oh, I should really get on that. So for not posting any videos after 4 years, this is what happens with YouTube. They send you a note and they're like, hey, if you don't start posting, we're gonna demonetize it. And yeah, I was gonna post, all I had to do was post like 4 videos, but I was just so sick this month, I couldn't make it. And because I missed that deadline, they really did demonetize my channel. So it's back to being like a regular YouTube channel that doesn't make any money. Well, that's not true. It makes money, but only for Google. It doesn't, they don't share any of the revenue with me anymore. So as soon as I post more videos, and I also have to go, it makes you go through the whole process all over again, where you have to get 4,000 hours of watch time and all that stuff in order to, I don't know why I have makeup always on my eyes, in order to get monetized again. So that's what's happening there. So that's also why I'm posting the tutorials over there. All right, so to report out on how the podcasts are going. So like I mentioned, there are 4. So you can see here in descending order, the number of episodes that I post seems to coincide with how successful I guess the podcast is. And when I say successful, I use that term lightly. It's kind of a joke, like there's nobody following me at all on these podcasts, right? So the Cozy Mystery Mingle, where we just talk about new releases, has 30 followers. And that has about 378 plays. And that's mostly because I think I keep posting episodes every single week. So that has like a consistent sort of activity on it. And then the Plan With Me, which is what you're watching right now, I just basically turned this into a podcast that has 247 plays and half the number of followers. And then What to Click, that technical tutorial, has 7 followers, 24 plays. And then the Plot With Us, which I kind of predicted has like, it's like on life support. This is the one that Molly and I do, but because of her schedule, because of her schedule, it's not like I'm blaming her, even though that's what it sounds like. It's just that the limitations of our ability to create content for that channel are limited by the availability of both of the hosts to show up, and she's available every other Monday based on her childcare schedule. So with that, I honestly am surprised. Anyway, I'm guessing the followers are probably me. I think I followed it, so that was 1 follower for that channel. And then the second follower was funny. I don't think it's even her son. So she was like, oh yeah, my son found us on Apple or whatever. I'm like, yeah, but he didn't hit the subscribe button. He didn't even want to follow us. So I don't know who's doing that. But either way, I've looked up like how to get more followers on podcasts, and they always say the same ridiculous stuff like, hey, make sure you have a great, interesting podcast. Okay, Captain Obvious. This is why like I get so annoyed with podcasts. I also get, I don't know why, it's a secret pet peeve of mine. It's not really secret. I'm pretty open about how much I dislike podcasts, but when people send in an email and they're like, oh my gosh, it's like something super simple, like what is the number 1 reason that people are leaving, I don't even know, like what's something people are leaving? Oh, the number 1 reason people are no longer watching the NBA and they're flocking to the NFL, right? Like it could be answered in 2 seconds, but usually what people who have a podcast say, they'll be like, listen to the podcast to find out. And I'm always like, I'm not gonna listen to your boring podcast just to find out the answer to this. So anyways, what was my point? My point is that there is a lot of advice out there on how to make your podcast interesting. A lot of them feel like skeevy. I don't know why. That just feels really slimy to me to send out that kind of an email. So I would never do that. So the other ways to like get podcast, I guess, followers is to list it everywhere, which I actually don't believe. There's like a lot of places you could waste time listing it on that no one's even going to see it. So, and then when I like, it always is hilarious to me when I go to someone's podcast and they're like, subscribe to the podcast, and it has like, you know, like 100 different platforms that I could listen on. And I'm like, I've never even heard of half of these things. So now I don't even want to subscribe to their podcast. I'm just like, well, what is that? And what is Pod Sync and Pod Pellet? I don't know. I'm just making that up. So I did not do that. But it did say, the one thing it did say to do that I do think could be useful was giving each podcast episode its own website page. Like each episode gets its own blog post page, basically. And so that is something that I am trying to build out into the new website, or the website update. So that's all I'm going to do, pretty much. All right. So that was a recap on videos. We are, and I know it's like, it's that time of year where you're like, are we ever going to make it through the year? It seems like it's going to take forever, but it's going to breeze by just like last year. So we are at the first quarter, the end of the first quarter. I know people like to think of the years in quarters. I like to think of it as semesters. So we are still in the spring, winter, whatever semester. So I feel like there's still time. There's still time to get things done before summer break. Which I don't know. I guess if you take your kids to Europe for spring break, you have to take them even maybe on an African safari for summer break, or maybe you just take them all over the world, a cruise around the world for children. I don't know. So what's your one goal for March? And mine keeps, so for February, I was like, I'm going to write every day. And then I got sick, and then the cat got sick. So it was like a whole thing. I don't think I even wrote. So clearly I'm back with bad goals. So I'm just going back to my January goal. I'm just starting over again, like it's a new year for March 1st. And so my goal for March is just to work on the Squarespace website. That's it. Oh, and then also it like took like a bunch of my time. I know what happened. The LisaSeifert.com website went down. Now this is built on WordPress using a Divi theme, and so I don't know what happened. I pay for backups. I pay for backups of backups. And for whatever reason, none of those backup solutions was available to me. So I was like, what am I paying? I'm paying like $100 a month for backups for all my sites on WordPress. And when I called Bluehost, which is where I got the backup service through, they said, we can't find it. We don't know what you're talking about. There is no backup. So I had to back up from like a really old backup, and then wasted the whole month updating the website so it could just be kind of like almost like coherent and useful. So anyways, it was in bad shape anyway. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to move that over to Squarespace too. Like there's no reason to just live with the pain of WordPress anymore. And I do get some more traffic there, and I keep telling people, go to that site for new releases and all that other stuff. So I'm going to update that as well. So learning, I have not changed this at all. There's just so many things I love wanting to know and wanting to learn how to do myself. So it is very hard to taper down that list. And same thing with creating. If I had all the time in the world, I would create so many things. Achieving a more active lifestyle. Now, I still have not, I was going to go to the gym this morning, but I was worried that I would make myself sick again, like I did a year ago with COVID. So I did not do that. I'm going to go for a walk later today. That's it. Just kind of ease back into it. And so my March word is just trying. So still getting over the flu again, which made me think like, how is it I'm sick with the flu again? Like I used to brag, like I wash my hands all the time. Every time I walk in the door, I've never used Purell because it just seems silly to me to use alcohol and then just have all this like dirt stuff on your hands. I don't know. I like using a wipe or washing my hands better, which you can't always do. So I get it why people use the Purell. But I was like, maybe it's because I didn't get sick for like 4 or 5 years before I moved out on my own into this apartment. And I was like, well, maybe it's because I don't have a boyfriend. Maybe I'm secretly depressed and I didn't know it. And like it's bringing my whole immune system down. Or maybe it's because I live in this tiny studio now versus I used to live in a huge 1,700 square foot house, and maybe I just need more space, or there's more germs here. Or maybe it's the neighborhood, but I used to live in this neighborhood before. Maybe it's because I'm old, right? Like it's been almost a decade. I was 41 when I first moved here. Well, I was actually 39, and so now I'm like 49. So, you know, maybe this is like ruining my immune system. But I thought about it, and I think the root cause, and I could be wrong, is that I stopped wearing makeup. So when I had a boyfriend that I lived with, I would put on makeup every single day. And before that, for work, because I had to go into the office every day, there was no work from home stuff, I put on makeup every single day. And so I think, and this is my new theory, is that I don't need a boyfriend and I don't need a bigger house. I need to wear makeup. And even if no one's going to see me. And the reason is because when I have like fake eyelashes on right now, and I know I was like playing with my eyeshadow always kind of goes to the top. But when I have eye makeup on, I don't rub my eyes as much. And because after Ben and I broke up, I was so excited to like stop wearing makeup every day. And I stopped wearing contacts as well. I wore glasses almost all the time. And I think without the contacts, there was no barrier to like stopping germs from going in my eyes. Again, this is just my theory because I wear the daily disposable. So anything that like collects on the contacts, it usually absorbs, and then I can just throw those contacts away. I don't rewear them. So that's my new theory on how I got sick for like the last whatever year, and I never got sick for like 4.5 years before that. Even like when COVID was going around everywhere and was going to the grocery store, I was like touching tons of stuff, never got sick. So I'm gonna go with that new theory. So now every day I'm going to wear makeup. I just ordered some new some more contacts, some daily display, because I was so excited. I was like, it's not even that much. It's like $100 for a 3-month supply of contacts. But I was like, oh my God, I can save $100 because I can spread out my contacts over an entire year, a 3-month supply, instead of just wearing them every day and having to reorder them every quarter. So yeah. So that is my own medical, I guess, public health assessment of why I've been getting sick versus I never got sick before. Anyways, oh, Karen, makeup. Yeah, it's a creative theory. Yes. Karen, I'd be fuming if my web host couldn't find my website. Yeah. You know, I did pay for Bluehost. It is cheap though. I paid for Bluehost for like, I think it was like a 5-year contract or whatever. And I have like another 1.5 years, almost 2 years left in it. So can't beat it. It is cheaper, but it's like saving money on the contacts. Did I really save any money if I'm sick? Kitty. So Lucky, I took him again to the vet. So first of all, he like, and I need to wear contacts. So I wasn't wearing contacts. Kitty put his little paw inside one of my drawers in my bedroom while I was like getting dressed. Anyways, I didn't see him, and I like tried to shake the drawer just to try to get him to move. Anyways, his paw was still in there, and he jumped out because I was about to close the drawer, and his paw like went at some weird angles, so he was like limping with his paw. So then I was like, oh my God, I think he broke his leg. So I took the cat to the vet for the broken leg. Not a broken leg, just a sprain. I panicked for nothing. So that was a lot of money. Then later, he like, well, he's not later, but he's constantly licking, and he won't take the antibiotics. He won't take his steroids. He's like such a picky cat. So anyways, took him into the vet and got another antibiotic shot. So the new protocol, and she had suggested that I put the cat on Prozac. But the problem is you need Prozac like consistently in your system in order for it to change your brain chemistry. And if you like even miss one day at one dose, it like ruins stuff. So she had suggested that I give him transdermal medication that's through your ears. And I looked it up, and people were complaining that it burns their cat's ears and their little ears turn red, which I could see that because when I tried wearing the estrogen patch for like, it was only like 4 months I tried it because I thought maybe that would help balance out my hormones. My skin, and I only wore it for a week, was like red and like inflamed, and it wasn't burning, but it didn't feel good either. So, and it says on the patch, keep switching the location, but cats' ears are so tiny and little. So long story short, I'm not going to drug the cat. Also, I don't know if anyone remember, well, you probably don't remember, but Hoppy, who was my dog of like 15 years, had some weird sores in his throat. And so the dermatologist in New York, which is very expensive and very exclusive, was saying that I needed to give him all these special medications to help with his throat sores because it was causing him pain. So the new medication was super expensive, but it like made him super sick and he actually died from it. So I'm always like worried about skin issues, but not to the point now where I would give the cat any more medicine than is necessary for a skin medication. So it's annoying. So my new theory is now I'm just going to put a coat on him for 1 week, and that will stop him. That'll at least give the licking like a little bit of a break, and then give him antibiotics that week, and then take the coat off. So that is my new protocol. I don't have a solution to fixing the cat thing, but that's what I'm gonna do instead of like sending him to more specialists. So you also need to pick a writing habit or a habit. So I'm going to stick with writing. I do like writing every day. So I am going to, as you can see, I've just been trying to do everything. I was going to journal every day, but my new thing now is just writing. And my schedule is still the same. So I always say, try to do the 24-hour method. And, you know, if you're like me, you could just go ahead and treat March 1st as your January 1st and start over again. Nothing wrong with that. So bringing this to a close, I didn't schedule anything for March, and it says writing sabbatical. I'm not taking a writing sabbatical this month. This is leftover from last month. But I'm not planning anything. I'm just gonna like get back to normal, try to do as much as I can this month, and then reassess in April. And as you can see, this is from February too. So nothing new. We'll do the Monday emails, and that's kind of it. And March, I don't think are there any days I'm really excited about for March? The first day of spring is March 19th. Oh, daylight savings. I was going to say that about daylight savings. If you are on the West Coast versus the East Coast, and Karen, I don't know for you because you're in London. I don't know if it works the same over there. Maybe not, because London isn't as wide as the US. But if you are on the West Coast and you feel painful during time changes, it is normal. And it has to do, I don't know, it's something to do with the sun and the way the sun sets and the actual clocks that we set. But if you're on the East Coast, apparently from March through November, so like upcoming now, the daylight savings through November feels painful, but then that off period from November to February feels okay. And it's funny because see, it says Eastern time versus Eastern Standard Time. I honestly don't know the difference. Whenever I send people time zones, I just put EST, PST. I always add the S in there. And someone was like, do you mean CST or do you mean CT? And I was like, I don't know. I just mean the Midwest. I just mean Chicago. So I'm not really sure if you're like a time scientist, but I am not. Maybe I should learn it. But anyways, if you are like me and you're a little worried, I would say take it easy during that day. I'm like cognizant now of all these things before when I was growing up where I'm like, that only applies to old people. But clearly, I don't know, maybe I'm getting old. So that whole go to bed early every night, adjust your body for the time of days, like planning for the time zone change, get a lot of sunlight. So I think sunlight can help sort of offset the negative effects of having to go through daylight savings in the first place. So that's one thing as well. So anyways, be careful. I try never, ever, ever to drive the Monday after daylight savings change, just because I'm so worried that everybody on the road is like confused and tired. So if you can, I would try to avoid driving on the road on Monday. In fact, that whole week, they say that whole week is just off for everybody. So anyways, so that is a wrap for everything from March. I will post these slides and I will get your workbook done today. I do feel better today, like almost 100%. I just have a lingering cough and a cold. So, and this is way better. I think when I had the flu in December, was it November or December? It was like for a month and a half or something. It like just would not leave. So I am very excited that this has only been 1 week. It's like a miracle. And yes, I tested for COVID. I don't know. Everybody keeps saying that, you know, it sounds like COVID. You might have COVID, but it's not COVID. It was just the flu. And I should have gotten the flu shot too. Like, I remember my friend Jen was like, you should get the flu shot. And I was like, who gets the flu twice in one season? I haven't been sick in like 4 years. So next year I will be getting the flu shot just to be safe. Let's see what else is going on. Karen, vets in the States sound a bit horrific. Good call not to give Lucky more meds. Thank you. Yeah, I'm very worried about him. Karen, sunlight or chocolate? Yes, I bet chocolate could help as well. I'm so sad. I really loved Whole Foods has this 365, that's their brand. But they had this one chocolate that had quinoa in it, which I don't know if it did or didn't have quinoa, but it tasted like a Rice Krispie treat. And I don't know why. It has not been in the grocery store for weeks. I went this morning too, and I could not find my 365 chocolate bar with quinoa in it. So I'm really sad about that. A friend's cat had a really bad reaction to meds after the vet said it was okay. Hopefully, luckily, it will come through. A whole lot of TLC and Stugs. Yeah, that's the only problem too is, I shouldn't say problem. He's very cute. I obviously love my cat, probably more than is normal, but he is super needy when he has the cone on because I think he's so freaked out that there's a cone on him. So he's like always like on top of me. He wants to sit on me. He wants me to hold him. So yeah, that does eat into my productivity too. And even with that, so that that little desk thing I got for my day bed where I put that little laptop holder on. It's a tray, a tray, and then I put the laptop on top. Well, I can't angle it down because his cone is so big and it takes up so much space. So I have to like type up here like this. I know these aren't real awful problems, but they're just things that like I'm trying to work through. So anyways, I hope everyone's having a fabulous and wonderful start to their March and that all of you are super healthy. Remember to wash your hands, wipe everything down. I guess wear a lot of makeup and contacts to help you from rubbing. I definitely rub my eyes all the time. So yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at my makeup. I don't know why. It's like an Asian thing. It's always hard. Whenever you put eyeliner down here, somehow it always ends up on the middle of your eye. Anyways, these are clearly me-specific problems, and I will stop complaining about them, and I will talk to everyone very soon. All right, bye.